inkproducts.com has now released its newest refill kit for the Canon Pro 100. Takes the CLI 42 cartridge. Now in this video I'm going to show you how to refill the originals and also how to refill our easy fill cartridges that come with the chip. And we're going to show you how to reset the Canon chip. Now it's showing me that my yellow is out. That means I got the red X. That's the only time you can take it out and fill it. You can fill it anytime you want, but the ink level won't go back up until you get that red X. It popped up and gave me support code 16. It's showing the big red X over the yellow. So now I can take it out and fill it and use our chip resetter to reset the ink level back up again. I'm going to be refilling the Canon cartridge, and I'll also show you our refillable cartridges. Now I brought the cartridges over, and with the kit you're going to get these little filling and storage clips. We're going to put the cartridge in, you're going to go through the back here and you're going to hook up and then lock it down. There's the fill plug. Now you know with all my videos I always show a little box that I put my stuff in so I don't knock everything over. I want to point this out. A lot of people under this label right here, there's a little ball, you can almost see it. And they pick it out and they fill it and all that kind of stuff. And we do it that way. We used to do it that way years ago. But now we're going to drill a little hole right here in the back. Because a lot of times by taking that out, you wind up cracking the cartridge. And that causes it to seep air into it and it starts to leak. So now we're going to give you everything it takes to fill it. The plugs, the fill clips, and this drill, which is the correct size for the plugs. So right there, I'll see if I can get as close as I can. There it is in the light. There's a little indentation. It's already there. That's where you're going to be drilling and putting the plug back in. And that's the same hole you'll be filling. Little clip through that cutout in the back. Don't try to spread the clip. You could break it. And then once you get it in, you should be able to just squeeze it and it'll lock in up front. That's it. Now it's in the clip. You can store it that way. If you have extra cartridges, our refillables come with them. But now when you're filling it, it's not going to leak all over. This is the front, the vent hole that needs to be open. Okay, now I'm going to get the drill, and I'm going to drill into the little mark here in the back. I'm going to get it here real close. There it is. See that little mark right there? Right there. And then I'll just clean any of the burrs that are around it and then put the plug in to test that it goes in nice and easy. But you want it to be tight enough that you don't leak any air. And there, I just point this out, there's the Canon chip. We're going to take it out after filling it and we're going to put it in the chip resetter. This is a very easy and economical chip resetter. Comes with a little lithium battery that you can replace if you ever need to. Instead of filling it first, I'm going to put it in a chip resetter. This way I don't waste the ink if the chip is no good, because sometimes chips can go bad. So for the color cartridge, you have this little extra piece so it guides the color cartridge down because it's smaller. So you're going to guide it right down. It's going to flash, go solid red. I already set the chip. That's how you know. So I know that chip's good, so now I can go and put it in the orange clip and start to fill it. Turn that drill and I'm already through. It's fairly thin plastic, but I didn't damage anything because now I'm going to just put a plug in there after I fill it. But I'll clean around that hole I just made, make sure there's no burrs or anything like that, and then we'll go fill it up. The knife to just clear it all out, clean out that hole so it's nice and smooth. Now I can put the plug in, make sure it goes in, make sure it's snug. Got my ink, I made the hole. Just point this out. I use a little clamp like this to hold the cartridge while I'm filling it. This way it doesn't fall over when I'm filling it, making a mess. That's why I set up these little fill stations like this with the box and everything, because this way while you're working on it, you don't want to have something fall over or knock over a bottle of the ink. So you go into the bottle, draw up your ink. Let me get a piece of paper towel. Okay, now so I can dab it off, go over, and start to fill it. Take your time, because it's got to seep from that liquid chamber into the fiber chamber. So it should take about 10 milliliters, maybe a little less. Now our refillables take 12, so the Canons use a little bit less. And give it a second, and after you take it out of the orange clip, we're going to let it sit for a minute. Give it a chance to weep a little bit in case it's a little over flooded and it don't drip all over. Just take your time. You can see the ink level's going down, the fiber chamber is filling. And like I said, for Canon it's usually about 10 milliliters. Our refillables are 12. We've already reset the chip. We made the hole. We're going to put the plug in, and then I'm going to take it over and put it back in the printer and show you ink level's going to be reset back full. Got the plug in. It's all filled. Now I can take it out of this. I'll carry it over and put it in the printer. But when I do that, I like to take it off momentarily and have some paper towels handy, just so it can drip any of the excess of ink. Otherwise it may drip inside the printer and your first couple of copies might have little drips of ink on it. So it only takes a second to do that. So I just put it there momentarily, just to see if I just caught all that little ink that probably would have dripped. Now I can put it back in the orange clip and take it over to the printer. Just gives it time. Lid, I'm going to put it back in. Got the red light back on, that's good. When the light blinks, that doesn't mean to take it out and fill it. You only take it out and fill it when you get that red X. Then you can fill it and reset the chip back to full. Now we'll go over to the computer and take a look at the ink level. Now my yellow is back to full. Now in the rest of the video I'm going to put in a set of refillables and show you how they work. But here you can fill your Canon cartridges that came with the printer and keep using it. Because the refill kit gives you everything. It gives you a high quality American made ink. Now something about ink I want to explain. Manufacturers have their own dyes and they have their own patents on their inks. So there's really nobody that can copy their inks exactly. We all try to come as close as we can to their ink. So when you're comparing Canon ink, even with our American made ink or other inks, sometimes you have to make an adjustment for them because our dyes react differently to paper that the Canon inks may. I've seen that for 20 years. Everybody says, well, it's not the same. Sometimes we can get as close, you can't tell. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you get as close as you can, and it's usually very good because of the amount of money you're really going to be saving. So that's up to you. I just want you to know this from before you buy the kit. There may be a little difference in what you're used to if you're using Canon. But you can compensate for it, or you may not. You may like our ink better. yellows to get that cartridge set so I could show you how to fill it and reset it. There you go. That's a lot of yellow we're putting down now. Okay, now I'm going to put a set of our refillables in and show you how they work. And cartridges out, and I replace them with our easy refillable cartridges. And I'm running a test pattern here. Everything looks really good. Now I just refilled one of our refillable cartridges. Now I'm going to put it in the chip resetter and reset our chip. So you can do it with our cartridges, or you can do it with the Canon cartridges. You can use our little resetter here to reset the ink levels back to full. Did from the clip. Now I'm going to put it in the chip resetter and reset that chip. Now if you're going to do the black, you got to take the little insert out. Put it in, push it all the way down, it'll flash, then go solid red, just like the Canon. Now we can go over and put them in. Get in the printer. Now we got a solid red light. It's been reset. Just put that refillable cartridge in, your ink level's been reset back to full on the cyan. Now I'm going to show you something what can happen with the Canon or even our refillables sometimes when you're refilling. If you don't let them drain off by putting in a little paper napkin, just temper out, a little light, you can see a little drop of ink. That's because I didn't let it sit on the bench without the orange clip on it. Just let it sit on a little paper napkin for a few minutes. That'll take up the excess ink because it just became flooded. But it started off poorly and then it got better. Like a flooded carburetor. It doesn't start, it doesn't fire. But then if you go in there and just keep running a few sheets, it'll clear itself up. So you don't have to go in and do anything. Just run a few sheets like here. This is my second sheet. No, that may be my third sheet. I'm sorry. This is my third sheet out. And it's back printing blue. And you don't have any little drops of ink. That can happen sometimes. Just take your time when filling them. Now this can happen with the Canon cartridges. Can happen with our cartridges. But now these new COC Smart chips we're using, they're awesome. They go down just like the Canon chip, and they reset just like the Canon chip. That's it. That's how simple it was.